Hello, hello, and welcome to Community TV with Adaire. This is TV for you by TV from me. This is where I bring you people in the community who are doing amazing things to help the community and people around them. Now, this could be anything from yoga to physical training, from permaculture to crafts, arts, and the other sort of gardening. Today, we have a bit of a special show for you. It is actually World Environment Day, and this is the first time that I can recall on Community TV with Adaire that we have actually celebrated or recognised a themed day or a special day on Community TV with Adaire. We do over on the show with No Name with myself and partner Fiona Rosianos, we do look at theme days as well, but today on Community TV with Adaire, we are looking at World Environment Day. I'd love you to meet Jonathan Hart. Now, Jonathan is a former radio announcer and award-winning newspaper journalist and avid supporter of a clean environment. Jonathan and his wife Tina run down-to-earth events and Eco Party Box. So welcome, Jonathan. And hello.
Hi, thank you, Adaire. Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me. And yeah, well, it's a nice sort of a day in Adelaide, but it's a day that, yeah, like you said in your intro, that we can celebrate World Environment Day. It would be great if we, as a collective species, we acknowledged it every single day in every way that we can possibly imagine, but we're not quite there yet. But there is still plenty of good stuff to talk about.
There's still plenty of good stuff to talk about and plenty of things being done and a long way to go. And thank you I just got to ask you a little bit about your background. Before we do, I would like to thank people who are joining us live and welcome to Community TV with Adaire. I'm speaking with Jonathan Hart from Eco Party Box and the other page he has, which is Down to Earth, the other business rather, which is Down to Earth Events. I've actually found, Jonathan, talking to you before you've got your finger in lots of pies, as I do as well, so I understand that. Let us know where you're from. If you're in Adelaide, let us know how you're keeping warm, because I've got a heater right here and I'm just sitting on top of it. Probably not that good for the environment, but I am rugged up. I've got my mum's knitted jumper and I have a scarf, so I do things that I should have said do. I do things that are try to reduce on fuel, heating and cooling as well. If you want to share this with your friends, please let people know, because we do like to get the word out there, and I'm sure Jonathan's going to give us some really good tips on how we can continue to be environmentally friendly and recognise World Environment Day. But first, Jonathan, I have the benefit of knowing a little bit about your background because we're in the Speakers Tribe together. Would you like to share with people today, and also for the replay, a little bit about who you are and sort of what brought you down this path, and why are you sitting in the car today?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty warm in here, for starters, but that's not the reason. Well, today I'm at an export ready program with Business SA. We're looking into getting some products to market through Eco Party Box, which will be innovative, but also, most importantly, they'll be home compostable. So we're just looking at how we best facilitate this process. And I suppose, just getting back to your question, how it all came about. In your intro, I had been a journo, and I'd been in radio, and I suppose I got a little disillusioned with it all, and threw it in. I took up jobs in sales and conservation and land management before it was really my wife that came up with a really great idea. And what she came up with was an Eco Party product, or an Eco Party shop, which was a one-stop shop for people to just to get all their eco party needs. So it wasn't really being met in the marketplace at that time. That was back in 2011, and we did get some eco-friendly party supplies, but they arrived a little late, and we just thought, well, we can provide a better solution and better service. And so that's really what we've been focused on over the last 8 years, is providing that service, the products that people can use to have a sustainable party, and just go about educating people, I suppose, and letting them know that you know, just because you have a party doesn't mean it's going to be wasteful. You can have a zero waste party. You can obviously get reusable products, which are fantastic. But if you don't want to do the washing up, then certainly you can get products that are going to be able to go into your green bin. Or in South Australia, we're very lucky you can do that. Interstate, there's a little bit of teething problems, as not all the councils allow it to go into the green bins, but certainly a lot of our majority of our products you can put in the home compost as well. Yeah.
So just share with us, I know that you have a thing about balloons, and it's not them being popped.
Yeah, well, certainly that was a very interesting turning point for our business. It could have gone either way. What happened was, in 2014, after doing a lot of research on whether balloons were environmentally friendly, we decided that no, they weren't. We stopped selling them. They were one of our best sellers, and it was really, the decision came down to a couple of things. One, there was a bit of propaganda put out by the balloon industry to say that balloons were biodegradable and would biodegrade at the rate of an oak leaf. It turned out that the guy that actually did that study was a balloon employee of the balloon or latex industry for 20 years. So there was some conflict of interest. Then later on, last year, we were featured in a documentary called Rubber Jellyfish, and that documentary featured a balloon industry representative saying that, well, no, balloons aren't actually biodegradable. So that was somebody from the Pro Environmental Balloon Alliance, and we were kind of vindicated in our decision not to sell balloons and stick up for the environment, stick up for wildlife, because the fact is, yes, they, in a balloon release, they do float away. Turtles do mistake them for jellyfish, and unfortunately, you've got a situation where they're swallowing it and dying, and seabirds, the same sort of thing, can get wrapped up with the ribbon. It really is a problem, and I can't believe in this day and age that we still have balloon releases that people don't turn around and go, that's littering. It's just one of the many environmental problems that we need to address and we need to wake up to.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what Michelle's saying here. She wants to know if you're sitting in an electric car.
Good question. Well, I tell you what, when Eco Party Box gets a few more customers, I might be able to afford one. So, Michelle, if you don't mind, come along to our store and purchase from us, and I'll get one.
Yeah, please do support. Yes, we all support each other, and I think it's a great thing that you're doing. It must have been a really tough decision to weigh up the financial cost as to for keeping balloons and saying, well, the financial loss for losing them and letting them go. Well, that's a really bad pun, but but to take them out of your range. So do you have substitutes, or what sort of things do you do?
Yeah, so there are some really good alternatives, and I suppose the best one that we found are the Honeycomb balls. So these can be flat packed, put away. They come out for each party, reused again and again, and they look really pretty. They can hang on walls. They can hang below skirting boards, anywhere. They're very similar to balloons in the way that they're obviously shaped because they're round, but because they're reusable, then they've got a much more beautiful and uh, they've just got a lot more use to them. They can be reused again and again. There we go. They're good. Yes, I like them. You've got them.
I just actually, I have these because we have parties. I've got a home office and we have parties and we do things just to mix things up a little bit. And I think that like these are really, really cool. And they don't go flat. Well, you can pack them flat, but yeah, I just thought they were really cool. And I just happen to have them by the magic of television. Here's one I prepared earlier. And I have to say, I had no idea you were going to say that.
No. Well, there we go. The magic of live TV.
There we go. There we go. And you can get them in all different shapes and sizes as well. And I suppose you can put them on the stick too if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, that's what Tina's working on at the moment. My lovely wife, who's getting more and more into putting out videos now of how we can educate people as to the balloon alternatives. So putting them on a stick is something that we did recently for Enlighten Adelaide, just to show people, here we go. There's a question. Has anyone looked into
Michelle just said, is it? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're talking about that now. Yes.
Yeah. So just with the other alternative to balloons is bunting, and Tina makes bunting out of like upcycled material, and she's getting more on the site. In the next few weeks, she's just made a stack, so we can't wait to get them up and for sale. So these products are I'm not much of a sewer, but I would say that anybody with a little bit of talent can make bunting pretty easily. You just have to cut the flags shapes. You get the bias. You can get them from the shops, and you just sew it all up. And it just, again, it's something that can be reused and reused again. And it hangs from the ceiling, and the skirting board's lovely. So it's
well, I can imagine you had if every family had a generic happy birthday bunting. Yeah. They could drag it out. We had 8 kids in our family. We'd be using it constantly. Like I was one of 8. There was, like that would be, you could just pop that out, and if it was, done in, like you said, in material and done, or even in felt, you can do it with felt, and then if you did have a little bit of, pardon?
You're reading my mind, because that's exactly what we have at our house. Felt happy birthday, which comes out every year, and every birthday. And we're up to 43 at the moment. So we just keep bringing the different numbers out, swapping them over, and it's really good, and it's really quick to do for the blokes. It's just bring out the bunting, and you've done the decorations for the birthday.
They probably wouldn't even notice if it wasn't there. What we had for our son's 16th birthday was the happy birthday done in cardboard. So we actually didn't make it, but we just bought it, and it was one of those ones that you just pull out, and it's like bunting, but it was the words happy birthday, and it didn't have the flags. So and that's all biodegradable as well. So, but you can also use that again and again if you remember to pack it up from outside, because otherwise it's going to get weathered by the rain and the sun.
Yeah. So actually, there's something that you said there which I wanted to just quickly touch on. You used the word biodegradable, Adaire, and it's just something that I guess it's crept into our consciousness, that things that are biodegradable are okay. And it's actually the term that we've really got to be searching for is compostable. So either home compostable or commercially compostable, because something that's biodegradable, it'll still break down into small pieces. There is some organic material that has been injected into the actual product for it to break down, but it still breaks down just into small pieces. It can't be put into soil. It can't be used as compost. So
Oh,
it's kind of getting a bit of a dirty word, to be a dirty word in the eco industry. And so just remember that if you're looking for instance, whether it be tableware or whether it be bags, for instance, for your bin liners, that word compostable, home compostable is best, commercial composting second best, but biodegradable steer clear, you know.
okay. Well, that's really interesting. And thank you for that education, because I do a lot of recycling, everything I possibly can, and right down to the scraps in the bin. And we do use the council provided bin with the green compost. I'm
Yep.
assuming it's compostable
Yep.
bin liners, and they go out in the with our scraps in the big green bin. And usually once a fortnight, if we haven't done the lawns, there's like a few little bags rattling around in the bottom, but they still go out. So and that's interesting too, because in that we're able to put meat and bones and that type of thing as well. As in the home compost, we don't do that. So so compostable is what we're looking for.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you. It
That's
was
all
the
right.
Biobag brand. The Biobag brand is made in South Australia, and they're a really good manufacturer and producer of these bags. So they're the ones to look out for. Composter Pack is quite good. Biopack also have a range of these sorts of bags, but if you want locally made and you want the compostable, home compostable brand, it's the Biobag brand that you need to look out for in the shops.
Okay, well that's handy to know. So so let's
Money.
talk. Pardon?
I'm not taking any money or commission for them.
No, well we actually get them from our local library, or we like go up to the library or the government local council provide ours. So we're not paying for them. So if you're a local, you can just go and grab some and then use them. So which is really cool. So you were going to share a little bit about World Environment Day. Am I going to put you on the spot here? Here we. Roz was asking, Biobag brand is the South Australian one? Question mark.
Yes, that is correct, Roz. Thank you for the question.
And so World Environment Day, and I know we have seriously so many days.
Yep.
It's hard to keep up, and we could have a day every single day. And I guess what we do is we choose what's important to us, and we choose what we want to support. Because because we'd just be constant. Well, there's nothing wrong with constantly celebrating, but we put the energy into what's important to us, which is why I decided to have some feature around World Environment Day today. Did you want to make any comment about Environment Day and how that works? And
so I did a little bit of research before, and World Environment Day was established in 1972 by the UN General Assembly on the first day of the Stockholm Conference on the Human Environment. But the first World Environment Day was celebrated in 1974, and the theme was Only One Earth. So that's a bit of a background. We have obviously other days like Earth Day, which we celebrate an Earth Hour, but today seems like obviously having the name World in front of it, something that everybody seems to get behind as a special day to celebrate it. And there's so much to celebrate, and we just, I guess, from a personal perspective, we and I'm guilty of this too. We forget about our connection to nature, and there's so much going on. We're busy. We're always on the treadmill, keeping up with things, and we just forget that special bond that we are. I mean, we are nature. We are all interconnected. So, in some ways, I personally see it as it's silly just having one day that we celebrate the environment when we can all really be having a special connection and celebrating in some sort of way, whether it's just being thankful for our ability to connect with nature. So anyway, that's just a little personal rant.
No, that's. I think it's totally fine. That's absolutely welcome because we do get caught up in the concrete jungle and in all this technology, and to be able to actually go out and to appreciate that we can step outside and get our feet, get grounded and be amongst nature. Like just outside of my door here, we've got gum trees along the fence line, which are it's got a creek running down the backyard, and we've got kookaburras and we've got koalas, and we've even had a kangaroo in the backyard. Yeah. So, and we're not far away from Anstey's Hill Conservation Park, which is like it's beautiful. And to think that we've got that. Just a little aside, we were up there. This is going back several years ago. My grandson was about 4 or 5. He's 13 now. So we were up there, and he was horrified that there was rubbish in this particular place where we went in Anstey's Hill. And when we went back the next time, he bought some gloves and a plastic garbage bag and actually was picking up the rubbish. And I thought, for a kid who's not even started school, that was, a real credit to him and his mum. So my daughter, that they was choosing to do that. And I mentioned that because the next question is what are the sorts of things that we can do to help save the environment or help make our own part of the planet nicer. And obviously the one that we've got you talking about is I'll just show the web your page here. Let's see if I can get it up the right one there. It's Eco Party Box, but if you have any more tips for us, Jonathan, you're more than welcome to share.
You said it nicely there, Adaire. I'm just getting a bit of feedback here. So you said nicely about your son or your grandson that was
my grandson, yes.
Yeah, that was picking up. So there was something going back a couple of months ago called #trash, and it was a global movement helping people to clean up their area of the world and really just be proud of what they've done. So there was a before picture taken of the messy area.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was an after picture taken of the cleaned up area. And people were hashtagging the word trash tag everywhere. And it really took off. But then it stopped. So I don't know why it stopped, but it's one of those really useful viral trends that could have just kept going and going until we'd cleaned the earth up for good. But so that's one thing. People can get out and become a trash tagger, clean up their world, whether it's the beach or or their local park, like you say, and do it before and after pic. Yeah, get some glory for it. Why not? You're doing a good thing for the. So yeah, share it around. I think that it's still trends, and there are still groups on Facebook and on Instagram for trash tag. But so that's one. Look, there's just so many steps. Though I mean, it's hard. Like somebody asked me the question, "Do I drive an electric car?" No, I don't drive one. But it is a goal of mine to drive one. I can't get around without a car. I can't there are certain things that I can't get by without. I suppose what I have power over is my choice in what I buy, and how I dispose of the things that I've bought, and how I am, really responsible and making conscious decisions um, about every little aspect of my life,
Yeah.
so that you know, um, I'm not trying to micromanage my life. It's just I can I can think different. So if I can think different, then other people can think different, and
Yeah.
if other people can think different, then we have a shot at getting rid of plastic pollution, and and really that's to me
Mm.
the big one at the moment. Um, because I can see that actually happening in the world. I can see that there is a problem with plastic, and that we can make changes to stop it. So,
Mm.
global warming's another topic that I guess we'd be here all day
We-
talking about lots of
well,
topics.
we don't well, let's not go there. We're just about out of time, but I did want to share. There's a couple of things that if we build it into our psyche and look for ways that we can actively do this, I'll give you two examples. That on Friday night, I went out to see a band with a girlfriend, and being the heavy hitter I am, I was on water all night, and, and I actually chose consciously not to have a straw. Now that's normal that they would offer you a straw, or you could grab a straw if they didn't put one in. But I did notice more and more there are the metallic or the metal straws, and then I wonder about how much it costs to actually produce them. In terms of, anyway, that's another story another conversation to have. But I just thought, well, I'm going to choose not to have a straw at all. And
Mm,
so I was drinking water all night without a straw. And then before I went and got some food from the shop, and I actually chose not to. I usually bring my own bags, but I didn't. But I actually chose not to grab a bag and walk out with it in my arms and then do it that way, which isn't like quite often we're just in the habit of doing it. So if we get into the habit of not doing it,
yeah,
little things like that we can do that we might not think make any difference today, but if everybody does those little things, they all
mm,
build up.
yeah. We need to kind of normalize the conversation, and make this a regular thing that we just
Mm,
discuss, so that we can really get to the solutions. There was a doco that I saw last night called The Simpler Way, and just one little quote got me really thinking, and it was, we need to be looking not at sustainability, but regenerative
mm,
processes. So, like you said there, you touched on that about the reusable straw as well. Um, you know, you can open up a whole can of worms and talk about, well, are we just getting addicted to reusable products as well? Are we stockpiling all these reusable products just because
mm,
that's an eco trend? There
mm.
is the danger that we could follow that path. So I think, yeah, going the no straw option, it's just my 2 cents worth. And I suppose with what we do, I could say that I'm an eco warrior, but by no means am I a perfect eco warrior. I'm doing things imperfectly all the time, and so I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be a doyen of the eco industry,
Yeah,
but I am saying, what I want to say is that, um, like, if I can choose to recycle better because I know better, then then other people can as well.
that's right. And there's little things. Now, I just want to acknowledge Michelle and Roz. Thank you for contributing today. Michelle has opened another can of worms. What about politics? And we're not going to answer this because we are out of time and we haven't done the heart yet. And it's funny, your name's Jonathan Hart. What about politics? Things seem to be taken out of our hands. She's really worried about we seem to be going backwards, and with mining, etc. So
Mm.
we'll just, if you did have one or two very quick thoughts on that, and then we'll do the heart and wind it up.
Well, I just today at this Export Ready program, there was a big picture of a big mine, and we're all supposed to be for mines and unlimited growth in the world, and really, yeah, it's about nurturing the earth. It's about recognizing that consumerism is not infinite, and really just to understand that where we fit into all of this is that we have a position as stewards, not necessarily miners, and there's the technology to create different energy supplies to mining anyway. So yeah, it's disheartening, but we can just hang in there and create a different future for ourselves. And that movie last night, The Simpler Way, it is. If you can look it up, I think you might be able to even stream it for free. I'm not sure, but it's a really good
What's
one.
it called? I'll make a note and I'll put a link in here. What's it called? A Simpler Way.
The Simpler Way, yeah. It's an Australian documentary as well.
Okay.
It's about a group of people living on the land in small houses, but just about intentional communities, and that they're being the change essentially to lead us beyond the consumeristic world that is raping the planet.
Beautiful. Well, I think we can use our voices and these mechanisms to get the word out there, and we can look at what is within our power to do things a bit differently, and even if it is just drinking without a straw, Michelle. Obviously, there's some things that we go, well, what is so big that we can't do anything about, or we can work towards collectively doing things about. Jonathan, I'm going to have to wind it up, but before we do, I've got the heart on.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Now that's perfect. And just smile for 5 seconds. Beautiful. All right. So I'll get a little snap of that. We'll use that as a thumbnail. I'll send it through to you, and you'll go in my little flip book of guests on community TV with Adaire, who have been in the community heart, because it is all about community.
Good on you. That's a good space that you. Thank you so much for letting me on your show, for inviting me on.
Thank you for leaving the conference and being here. I'll see you later.
See ya. Thanks, Adaire.